Spurs fans. Oh. Oh, it doesn't get any easier, man. It does not get any easier. Come on. Come on. I need some energy, man. We need a pick me up. It has been a kick in the teeth of a week. It's not even over yet. It's only Wednesday. Only hump day. Come on. While we're gathered around, give yourselves a round of applause as well. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boy, do we have a preview show, because there has been an update in recent events that we'll go ahead and get right into after this intro. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I cannot believe the situation we have come into. Listen, it doesn't get any easier being a Spurs fan, let me tell you that. Each and every day is a new, especially now, it's a new adventure. Oh, man. I'm sitting in my office losing my damn mind. I just want to let everybody know I'm going to try to adhere to the timepiece, 30 to 45 minutes, but I have no idea. Don't hold me to it. Listen, a lot to get into here. I'm glad that you're giving me a round of applause, giving yourselves a round of applause. Let's just go ahead and bring my face onto the screen. What's up, folks? It's De La Spurs coming to you live tonight. It is March 4th, Wednesday, hump day, as some of you may know it, in the middle of the week. That's right, the week is not over yet, but for some, you just want this week to end. Hopefully, in the work or in the offices or wherever you're doing for work, everything is going well. But in the world of Tottenham, it's not getting any easier. It's not getting any easier. Listen, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, but first, man, can we please just go ahead, do this for me, please. Take a moment, like this live stream. All right, subscribe to the channel. All right, also leave a comment in the chat if you feel like it's in the live stream chat or in the playback chat if you want to make any comments about the content, anything you do like, don't like, recommendations, discreditations, any accommodations, whatever it may be. Just let me know. Throw it in the chat. Feel free to share this video as well. De La Spurs on all the platforms. Listen, follow me on X as well. I'll probably be going crazy on X with the most recent events happening. We're going to get into that. But you'll want to follow me on X. Usually I'll repost or post anything that I'll probably be using in the live stream. So if you just want to see kind of where all that content and everything's coming from, follow me on X. Also hit the notification bell if you do subscribe to the YouTube channel. See when I post. I'll post when I go live. Of course, I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. But if you want a post with the link to the live stream, so you don't got to do anything except click a button and then you're there right when I go live, feel free to hit that notification bell as well so you can get my post. I appreciate it, folks. I appreciate it. Now, listen, and I'm going to turn down the sound for this, all right, because I don't know how loud this is going to be. But we are it's official, folks. It's official, man. It's official. It's official. We are 1 point outside of the relegation zone. And I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, we got plenty of games left. We got winnable games. We're playing Crystal Palace tomorrow. It is officially DEFCON 1. We've been riding our luck for so long, this team. For so long, we've had so many opportunities to get points in these situations. Listen, if you haven't been aware for today, and just to kind of get into the first kind of topic, that this relegation battle has intensified to a whole nother level that I think a lot of Spurs fans were fearing. All right. It's something that I was fearing as well. Now, listen, I knew it was a possibility. I embraced the highly likelihood that this was going to be happening. All right. I've mentioned before just how compromised you are, but tonight's results, first of all, going around the league, and I could pull up let's go ahead and do that. Actually, I'm gonna pull up the results from around the league so you can see them for yourselves. But yeah, it's been a pretty hectic day. Let's get this pulled up here now. What you're probably thinking, what needed to happen for Tottenham to be only 1 point um, under the relegation zone? We'll go ahead and dive right into that. Let's see here. So as you can see here, do we have the 2 games we need? No. Okay. There we go. So we'll start off at the top here. So this is the full results list of game week 29. So this is game week 29. So unless you've been in cup competitions and you had to have games postponed, every team is now headed into game week 29. All right. This will be game 29 for Tottenham. All right. So you can see here, Everton, Burnley, really doesn't matter. Don't really care too much. Bournemouth, Brentford, 0-0, boring game. Don't really care, right? Leeds, Sunderland. Now, this is a result we needed, right? Because this keeps Leeds, who's ahead of us, right, still within grasping distance. So, in any case, we leapfrog Leeds. They will then be a buffer for us against the teams that are in the relegation zone. They will serve as like a buffer, right? So this result was a positive. We wanted this to happen in a sense. No offense, Leeds, but we need to kind of drag you down to make sure we stay up. You have Wolves here who got a great result against Liverpool, deflected goal in extra time to get the win. Now, I don't know the math, but I think technically there still might be a mathematical chance if the impossible happened, if they just like went on a crazy run and won all their games. I think there's still a chance they get out of relegation, but they're going to be relegated. So they're really just kind of playing for the glory right now. But they still got a good result. Obviously, not a good result. The Scum won 1-0 against Brighton, right? This result here, this is catastrophic. Now, the reason that is because, one, Nottingham Forest was that buffer team between West Ham and Tottenham. And West Ham right now is in the relegation spot in 18th. So we were in 16th, Nottingham Forest in 17th, West Ham in 18th. Nottingham Forest not only get a draw, so they get a point to get closer to Tottenham, in which I think now they are only 1 point behind at 28 points. But now, as well, they get the draw against Manchester City, who is the only title opponent or title antagonist against Arsenal, who are in first place, who are now sitting comfortably with 7 points. I should say Manchester City does have a game in hand, but you're now talking about even if they won that game in hand, they need to still win, I guess technically 2 more games than Arsenal will lose in the rest of the season, which is not likely to happen. So this was a game for Manchester City to not fuck up, because if they won this game, right, they would have had a 2-point buffer with their game in hand. They won their game in hand. It would have been 2 points. And then at any point in time, Manchester City won a game, they would be ahead of Arsenal. But now they are so far back, it's insane. So sucks. Really does suck. The next result we see here, catastrophic. Catastrophic. All right. West Ham get a win away at Fulham too. This is they went to Fulham. They went to London and got this result, a London derby. And they came out on top 1-0. And it really has now intensified this relegation battle to the point where we are now sitting only 1 point above the relegation. Now, let me get the – hold up. So, let's look at this. Let's look at the Premier League table now. So, you want to look at this, right? We are still in 16th place. So, we didn't actually drop down any places, right? But look at the points. Look at the points. Look at the points, right? 29 points. We have 29 points with -5 goal difference, right? That will come into play because we have a significantly less goal difference than Nottingham Forest and West Ham. But look at the points. Look at the points here. Look at the – hold on. 28, 27, but both teams are on 28 points. That now means that either if Nottingham Forest gets a draw or West Ham gets a draw, they are now fighting for who's in that relegation spot, and they're only 1 point behind. If one of them win another game, they will leapfrog us, and they will instantly we will become the buffer for them, essentially. So if Nottingham Forest won a game, they'll be on 31 points. They'll be tied with Leeds for, I guess you would say, they would still be – no, they would be in 15th place. Leeds would be in 16th place. We would be in 17th place. And then West Ham would be in 18th place. Vice versa that, put West Ham in that position as well. So it's serious, folks. It's serious. We're not in the relegation zone. And I do want to highlight that. We are not in the relegation zone now. If either of these teams win, we will still not be in the relegation zone. But the relegation fight is real. It is a real thing. And the reason why I'm going into DEFCON 1, and honestly, I wanted to save this. I should have waited till after the Crystal Palace result. But the reason why I want to go into DEFCON 1, I don't want to go into DEFCON 1 when we're already in 18th place, because at that point it's already over. All right. The aliens have taken over. Earth is done, right? They're already down on Earth. Aliens have already made their way, weeded their way into society. They're now in the Oval Office. They're now in the White House. It's over. It's over in that case. But we're in DEFCON 1 now. I want to go to DEFCON 1 now because look at the form the teams are in. Look at the form. And I'm not necessarily saying they have a lot of wins or draws, but look at West Ham. West Ham, the team that's in relegation, looks the most likely in form to get a win, right? Nottingham Forest, they're in a pretty bad form, but they've gotten more points out of their games than we have. So you have a Nottingham Forest that's moving at a snail's pace. And to be quite honest, between the two, right, I think Nottingham Forest will be ultimately the main buffer between Tottenham and relegation, right? So I think Nottingham Forest and West Ham are going to be battling it out with each other for who stays and who goes. And again, this is game week 29. We still got a whole 9 games left. So it will all depend. It will all vary. But this has to be we have to be serious now. The players have to be serious now. We need to go. We need to be DEFCON 1 now before this Crystal Palace game, because by the time after this Crystal Palace game, we have, I think we have Liverpool, we have, I think we got to play Chelsea again. We have Nottingham Forest. I know we have to play. We have to play Leeds. So we're either going to be playing teams that are just as desperate as us, or teams that are already in that top six echelon that we know we're not going to be able to beat. And have you seen any fight from these players? Have you seen that they realize the situation that they're in? Have you seen that the club understands the situation that we're in? No, you have not. So that's why I'm precisely going into DEFCON 1 now instead of waiting until after Crystal Palace, depending on the result. Because if we do win, we don't have to go into DEFCON 1 necessarily. We'll have that buffer of leads, and I think Crystal Palace will they're on 35 points, so they'll still be ahead of us, but they'll be just another win, another 3 points ahead of us. So it won't be as bad. But listen, I just, we have to understand the dire circumstances that we're running into. And listen, it's not getting any easier. As a matter of fact, it's been getting worse. It's been getting worse. It's been getting worse. I said it in my last live stream. It's been getting worse. The form has been getting worse. The play has been getting worse. The players, their dejectedness, the energy, the fan base, how we feel right now, it's all getting worse. It's not getting any better. So as much as we keep saying, or as much as we keep riding our luck, we're not moving in that direction to try to move, to take advantage of this luck that we're running into. We're just watching it whisk by. And the Crystal Palace game has just put a lot more oomph on it, right? A lot more oomph on it. We're gonna preview that, so, and then we'll probably call it a quits for the night. So I can try to stay within my. So this is a home game, and you would think, right, with us playing at home, it should be to our advantage, right? Not the case. Home form has been dire, been dog shit. So we can't really rely on, we can't really rely. I don't want to say we can't rely on the fans or the crowd, but that hasn't been a factor at all at home this season. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's going to be a factor in this game, right? To be quite honest, if I was a fan in London, I'd be so dejected right now. I wouldn't go to the game. I honestly, like, it is what it is. Like, you've been watching this club turn into the mess that it has been going for years. You're right there in front of everything to protest. You decide not to do it. So I figure you either okay with it or you just don't care. So I figure a lot of the fans have just kind of tuned out and just don't really care anymore. And then the some fans that are still going to the games, that are still cheering, are the happy clapping fans that would show up regardless. Are the ones that are going to be showing up when we're in the championship. They're going to be talking about, ooh, I don't have to travel as much because, I don't know, maybe the teams are closer, or maybe we got to travel more. And, that's just a sacrifice I make as a Spurs fan. Give me my Spurs points. give me my Tottenham dollars for being a good fan and traveling all over, watching us play in the championship, right? So anyway, I digress. Home, I don't think us playing at home in the toxic toilet bowl is really going to be anything. It's really going to do anything to our advantage. Listen, this is 3 out of 3 as far as the London derbies. We are 0 for 2. 0 for 2. So we suck in the London derbies, and I mean, Fulham had a go at us Now, it's kind of been tiered, right? Luckily, how we've been playing the London derbies, they've been kind of tiered. So he played Arsenal, who's number one in the Premier League, best team in the Premier League, yada yada yada, bullshit, right? We played them, we lost, right? We played Fulham, who's mid-table, right? Solid team, are beatable, but you have to have a game plan. Got to stick to it. Got to be disciplined, structured, and of course, you got to have that clinical edge, and you can beat that team. You can beat that team. You can put them away, right? So we failed that test. Now we're playing Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is on the lower end of the table towards our end of the table, right? So why is it that? Well, let me not say that. Let me rewind it back. So they're on our end of the table. They're on our side of the table. They are not necessarily on the beach, so to speak, but do they have their most recent form? They got the head-to-head. They got the Halahube. Damn. All right. Let me get out of the full screen. There we go. All right. So you can see as their form, they're not necessarily on the beach or anything. They haven't maybe played well in some of the last games. There's some moments of frustration probably with the fans. But do understand this. They are still a decent team that's well coached. They have some good players on their team. Sarr, Adam Wharton, right? Chris Richards, shout out the American, right? Shout out the USA man. But yeah, they have some decent players on their team, and they're a well coached, well structured team. And if they're not gonna put you guys away, if they're not gonna put us away, if they're not gonna have a game where they're just going all out, balls to the wall, attacking sense, they're gonna make it very hard to beat them. And I think they have the players on their team that if they try to make it hard to beat, if they play hard to beat, they will then have their moments where they can capitalize and try to score and get over on us, right? Do expect us to, like we've been seeing before, I feel like there's going to be so much space in the mid, depending on how we set up. Now, again, these are predicted lineups, so can't say that this is what we would do, but depending on how we set up and what the evidence has been so far, I would still expect Crystal Palace to turn into prime Barcelona, right? They're going to start passing the ball around. Their fans are going to be singing Olays, right? And I think they're going to smell. First of all, I think they're going to smell blood in the water. I think they're going to be up for it. I really think they're going to be up for it. And if I think they get an early goal, depending on how early it is, right? If you're talking about like within the first 10 minutes, maybe it won't be as bad, but you're talking about getting a goal. Well, no, actually reverse that. If they get a goal like in, say, like the first 20 minutes, that's not as bad. But if they get a goal like within the first 10 minutes, yeah. It's going to be similar to Fulham where they're going to be going into the half, multiple goal lead, and the team is going to be dead and buried. Expect boos at halftime then. Like, it'll be the same. You know what's funny is that all the fans are going to be sitting there saying, oh, we need to be behind the team. Everybody now more than ever needs to be behind the team. But I guarantee you, if we go down 2-0 at halftime, what are you going to hear? They're going to be raining down the boos. They're not going to give a crap about that get behind the team BS. They're going to be booing. The fans aren't going to want to watch that. They're going to be complaining we're about to get relegated. But will they do anything? Will you hear any protesting chants? Will you hear Enoch out? Will you hear Lange out? Will you hear sell the club? Whatever sort of chants. No. They'll boo the players. They'll boo Tudor, right? They'll boo everything. They'll boo the grass on the field. They'll boo the field because the field is hurting the players too much, right? The field is hurting the players too much. They'll start booing the field. But you won't hear any chants about Enoch out. You won't hear any chants about Lange out, Vinay out. You won't hear any chants about selling up. You won't hear any chants about how the fans are fed up. This isn't the Tottenham that we used to know. Enoch is a problem. You won't hear any chants about that. You won't see any of that. They'll boo. They'll go back into the concourse, drink their beers, have their food, their Asian fusion, their barbecue, their whatever. They'll go off the merry day. They'll F off into the merry day. Just whatever. All happy. As if that didn't happen. As if they didn't just watch their team lose again. And then they'll call into TalkSport. Oh, I can't believe it. And then you guys are on the radio supporting this. Everybody hates Tottenham. I don't get it. I'm so mad at everybody. I'm lashing out at everybody except going after and lashing out on the people who deserve it. I'm gonna lash out at I'm gonna lash out at Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans and Forest fans. I'm gonna lash out at Man City fans and Liverpool fans. I'll lash out at other Tottenham fans, but I won't lash out at the ownership. I won't lash out at Enoch. I won't lash out at Vinay. I won't lash out at Lange, knowing that they're probably sitting up there in their press box, right, smiling, watching down on whatever's going on. Thinking that as bad as the team is playing, how horrible the situation is, there's no way this team will get relegated. We can't get relegated. They can't afford to get relegated, so we're not going to get relegated. That's probably how they're thinking. We can't afford to do that. We would have no plan, no way of thinking of getting back up if we did. So it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. We hired this manager. We have Lange. We have Vinay. It's just not going to happen. They told us we couldn't have the player. We didn't have the players to buy. All right, so be it. But other than that, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Whatever. Anyways, I did a rant. I'm sorry. I had to. That was just, it's just going to be a mess. It's just going to be a mess. I'm prepared to watch a mess. I'm prepared to sit there at my desk, losing my mind, wearing my Tottenham socks. It is what it is. That's what it is, being a Tottenham fan. Anyways, listen, this is the lineup. They predict us to line up at the back. Here's what I'll say. I don't know what Kevin Danzo's injury situation is. I'm not sure how fresh he is, but I would give him the start next to Van de Ven. I would give him the start, and I would put Souza in the back. I would go with the most natural back line you can get, the most natural back line to play defense, right, that you can have in this game. This is a game that Tudor, you don't pull out any fancy stops, right? You don't try to write any tricks. You don't try to pull a rabbit out of the hat. You go down to the bare basics, right? You're an interim manager. You know you're not going to be here for a while, so do the basic thing, right? Do the thing that a fan would do who understands the bare basics of football. Put the midfielders in the midfield, put the defenders in the back, put the attackers up front. Simplify the game, right? Simplify the game. That's all you got to do. Crystal Palace, they're going to play close. They're going to play low. They're going to play tight. So you know what? Just say, hey. Someone, just say, hey. Say, hey. Say, hey. Conor Gallagher, João Palhinha, if you ever get, well, no. João Palhinha, you sit in front of that back line. Archie Gray, well, no, not Archie Gray, but you get what I mean. Souza, Pedro Porro, you on those wings. You go up there, you support the players out wide, right? Conor Gallagher, you sit there in the midfield. You sit there and patrol that area right in front of the penalty box. You help them connect those passes, make sure they don't lose the ball while they're playing out wide. Left backs, right, Souza, Pedro Porro, get up the field, help them out, provide support, right? Solanke, they have Pape Sarr in the midfield, Simmons out wide. Listen, what I would say is this. They need to start Matisse Tell out on the left, Simmons in the middle. I guess play Richarlison out on the right. If we don't have anybody else, let's see who else we have. I don't know who we have. Like, yeah. Hey, listen, folks. We are out to the bare bones. We are out on our bare ass right now. There's no ass meat. There's no butt. There's no booty meat protecting us right now. It is the back, the hip, the bottom of the hip bone against the concrete right now. We are down to bare ass right now. We have nobody. So I would say put Tell out wide, put Xavi in the middle. I guess you can keep Richarlison out wide, put Solanke up top. And that's how you do it. Or you can play with the 2-2 from here, a 4-2-2-2, and put no, that would still probably be the same. No, I want Xavi in the middle. So yeah, keep this formation. Put Xavi in the middle. Put you can put Tell out on the left. I guess you can keep Richarlison out on the right. I don't even think he plays off the right, but I'm not sure who else we put in that position. I would say put one of the kids out there, if any. I would be putting people in their natural position. That's the thing. So if we did have to bring an academy kid to play in this game, put him in that position. Let them play in the natural position. Have players doing what they naturally do. Try to simplify the game as much as possible, because you can see with whatever tactics, whatever you're doing on the training ground, if that's what it looks like in the training ground, what it looks like in the game, your tactics are shit and you're a horrible coach. If it's what we all think, that the players are just not understanding it, they're just not getting a grasp of it, and they're just not motivated enough to do it, you got to simplify the game down enough to where they are going to be, they can understand it, they do grasp it, they know what they're doing, and they're motivated to do it. And part of that motivation factor, which is huge, is you get players playing in their natural positions. If you get a player playing in their natural position, they're going to be more motivated to do something on the ball because they're in the position they're used to playing. But if you got a midfielder playing out in the left back position, right? If you got an attacker playing at the left back position and just asking them to run up with the ball, and they're not instructed defensively on what to do, they see the guy keeps running into that space, they keep getting attacked, they keep conceding, the player's just going to get dejected and just, why am I playing in this position? I didn't want to play in this position. I don't understand it. I don't want to do this. And they're just going to be walking around, and they're just going to want to go into halftime. And it's just going to be the same BS that we've been watching. So, listen, as much as is a dire situation we're in, if you got to get some academy kids to come in and play in these positions, because this is what the academy is for. You bring academy players in to bring in a certain amount of energy and skill to your game when you're down to your bare ass. You know what I'm saying? So bring somebody in who plays on the right wing, or bring somebody who plays on the left wing. Bring them in, put Xavi in the middle, put him in his natural position, keep Conor Gallagher and Paulinho there, or switch out Conor Gallagher for Sarr, however you want to do it. Put Souza out on the left, have Pedro on the right. I would put Danzo in for Dragusin, but if Danzo's not ready to play a full 90-minute game or close to a 90-minute game, keep Dragic and Van de Ven. I would also trade out Vicario for Kinski. Again, I think we need something different in goal. Vicario, he made some great saves. He kept us in that Fulham game. He's what kept it 2-1. But in his defense, right, I don't think we've offered much protection for him in certain scenarios. I think there's certain scenarios we've been wide open, and he's had to stand on his head to make the save. But you may need something new. You may need something fresh, right? And if you're going to have some young players in the team, maybe having a younger Kinski in goal will just, again, inject that energy and skill that you need into the game that we need right now. We're down to nothing right now. So if you're saying that an academy kid playing in their natural position can't offer more than Richarlison playing out on the right, which I don't think I've ever seen him do ever in his career. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And if he's done it before, it's probably been this season within the last 3 games, and that's probably the first 3 or 4 times he's ever done that ever in his career. So, like, if you're telling me a Richarlison out on the right wing playing there for the first time ever in his career is not as good or better, or I should say, if Richarlison played on the right wing for the first time ever in his career is better than one of our academy kids playing out on the right wing in this game, then that just tells you either the level of how great Richarlison is or just how bad our academy products are. Because it can't be both. We can't have great academy kids that we can't figure out to bring into the team, but every manager, whenever we have the chance, never brings them in because they don't think they're good enough. So if the kids are good and we just haven't had the time to bring them in, bring them in. And I would second that because I think Tudor needs to simplify his approach. I think, and I'm not saying he's doing all this crazy stuff. He's doing a whole bunch of craziness. But from what we can see, the players look unmotivated. They don't look like they understand. They don't look like they're grasping onto what they're doing. We're playing these long ball, knockdown football, and the players aren't committed to playing that way, right? I looked at, and we'll kind of come into a close here, but I looked at Leeds play. I looked at Leeds play Manchester City. I watched that game, right? And I just wanted to see how Leeds are playing. Why are they ahead of us by just a couple of points, right? I was watching how they were playing, and they showed the stat that they were like unbeaten at home like for 20-something games. Not necessarily saying they won a whole bunch of games, but they didn't lose at home a lot. Like they rarely lost. Them losing to Manchester City was a rare loss for them. So why was that the case? I looked at how they were playing. I looked at the personnel they have. First of all, the players they have, not much better than what we have. If not at the same level, if not probably worse than what we have. I would probably say at the same level. I think they have some special players in their team, but I mean, just talking about the strikers. You're Richarlison versus what's his name? Oh my gosh, it just left my mind. It just left my mind. But they were on the same Everton team, right? So it's just about our level, right? They're just about our level. But what I found interesting about their football and how they played is that they played the same long ball knockdown football. But the way they would press, right? If they lost possession, they press. They would get the players back that they need to bring back, but they would press at some sort of point, right? If they're in the attacking end, they lose the ball, they do get back. They were getting back. But as soon as Manchester City got close to the halfway line, it was pressing. They were pressing the ball. When they were kicking the ball long from the back, whenever it got up to the halfway line, they were pressing. So all the players were committed to not only running and getting the ball up moving forward And not only they were committing to going both ways up the field, forward and backwards, because they had their opportunities too, Leeds, and they had their counterattack moments. So the players are running up and down the field because they were getting back to make sure they didn't get on the counterattack by Manchester City, right? And they wanted to make sure they defended in numbers. So they were running back and forth. And not only that, they were still willing to press when they were knocking the ball long. Whenever the ball got to the midfield, about the halfway line, they started their press. It was instant and it was organized. It appeared to be a man-to-man press. They weren't like, pressing in like twos, but each player was committed to that press, regardless of who had the ball, who their man was. And I'm sure if you compared Man City to Leeds, you're going to say Man City's players are better than Leeds players, but they still pressed with courage and intensity. And guess what? They won the ball. When the ball went long and they're in Calvert-Lewin, that's who it is. Calvert-Lewin's pressing his back into the defenders. He was winning the ball, knocking the ball down, getting it to the attacking players. Boom. Get the ball out wide. There you go. So even though they were playing the same sort of football we were playing, and you can see that it yields the similar results because this is where they are on the table, the commitment that the players had to that is on a whole nother level to what Tottenham is. And that's just Leeds being 1 point ahead of us. That's them being 1 point ahead of us. Something they've been drilling for all the season, probably the seasons before when they were in the championship and just scraping by in the Premier League. That's all that coming into that moment before that in that game, right? And I think they still have injuries. They have players out. I'm sure that's probably not their best 11 either that I was watching that game. So the commitment level that Leeds had, who's only like 1 or 2 points ahead of Tottenham versus what we see, these players who look like they give up by the 15th minute, that's partially why it's DEFCON 1. And that's partially why this game is so important. It's so important that we try to get something from this game, because if we do not, it's over. It's over. I'm telling you. To hit on Crystal Palace a little bit, again, like I said, they have good players. Munoz, Adam Wharton, Sarr, Chris Richards. As you can see here, the players they do have out, though, they do have Lacroix out, Larima's out, Mateta is out, and Nketiah. So they're still without some of their better attacking players. But again, I still think they have some good players in their team. They're going to make it hard for us to beat them, and it's going to be a rough game. It's going to be a rough game. Expect this game to be tight, be contentious, right? I do think Crystal Palace in an early flurry and our early confusion, they can get a goal. And if they do get a goal, let's say this. I'm going to make this prediction, right? And this is for my gambling dudes as well, right? So gather around here. So this is what I'm going to say. For one, not going to be a lot of goals in this game, I don't think. Okay? Going to be a very tight, contested game. I don't think we score a lot. If there's going to be a lot of goals, I don't think it's going to be from Tottenham, right? So not going to be a lot of goals in this game. I would say keep this. Funny enough, I do see another. I would say keep this over 2.5 goals, because I do see actually, you know what? They always say go with the over, but you know what? In this game, I just have a funny feeling in this game. This is going to be some of the low-scoring games that we've been seeing in the Premier League. Not a 0-0, but I think you can definitely see a 0-1, 1-1 in this game. I don't think this Crystal Palace team has a lot to score as far as goals. Don't think they have a lot of goals in them, and we don't have a lot of goals. So I think you're going to see a lot of misses. I think you're going to see a lot of bad passing. I think you're just going to see a scrappy game, a very tense game. It's going to feel very tense. You're going to be very drawn in because of what's at stake, right? But as far as the actual quality, it's not going to be very high. And I don't think you're going to see a lot of opportunities and good shots on goal. So I would definitely still I would definitely I would try to shoot for an under, a 2.5 under, right? A lot of corners in this game still. I would definitely go for over 5 corners for each team. Um as far as the score, oh man. Oh man. Tottenham, please, 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 Tottenham, please. Um, I'm gonna go with, in my heart, as a Tottenham fan, I want a 1-0 win over Crystal Palace, but I don't think we're good enough to keep a clean sheet. So, but I don't think we're good enough to get 2 goals. I haven't seen us score 2 goals, 3 goals in a minute. So if they do get a goal, I don't see us going on some sort of flurry to get a win. But if there's any game that you would say, if we could just last whatever tiny bit of energy, whatever you got left, you got to put in this game. So you know what? F it. You know what? Forget it. You know what? Here we go. Go for the over. Always go for the over, folks. Over 2.5 goals. We're going for a Tottenham 2-1 win. All right. We're going to squeeze a goal out of somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know where it's going to come out of. Squeeze out a goal. We're going to squeeze out this win. We're going to get 3 points. We're going to sit on 32 points, and we're going to probably let that ride until the rest of the season. That's what I'll predict. We're going to put every last bit of our heart and energy into this game, get 32 points. The fans are going to celebrate. We're going to pretend like, the World War II was ended, and we're going to ride off into the sunset for the rest of the season, sitting there on 32 points. And again, just be watching what other teams do. Be watching Nottingham Forest and West Ham every game week, hoping they lose or at least draw every game for the rest of the season. That's what I would predict would happen. Yeah. You can't keep me down. I'm a Tottenham fan. That's what I'm going to be forever. All right? You can't keep me down. You can't. It's in my heart. It's in my heart. I'm always going to be this dumb, crazy, delusional fan. I hate it so much. Oh, I'm hoping and praying that we can pull this out, folks. I really am. And on that note, we're going to call it a night. I want to thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. I really appreciate everybody watching. If you could, just go ahead for me again. Take a moment. Hit the like on this live stream. Subscribe to the YouTube. I'm not sure if I'm going to go live tomorrow. It is a school night, and I got like a whole bunch of training I'm doing at my work with a whole bunch of new employees. We got some clients coming in as well, so I gotta put on and try to make sure I look like I'm training them all professionally and whatever. So not sure if I'm going to do that a live stream tomorrow, depending on what happens. If we lose, oh boy. But listen, regardless of what happens, if you want to stay in touch, if you want to be on the know of when De La Spurs is going live, follow me on YouTube, follow me on X. I'll post when I'm going live. You'll have it right there. You don't even gotta go and hit any search bar on any platform. Go on your phone, go on X or YouTube, see my post. Bam, the link is right there. You'll be in De La Spurs Live, and you'll be able to share in the greatness with me, folks. I appreciate you guys again for watching this. Good God, I hope Tottenham can get something out of this game. I really do. We are at a it's real, folks. It's real. We are officially 1 point above the relegation zone. 1 point above the relegation zone. If you didn't think it could get any lower, it can get lower. Always remember that. So with that, I'm out. Bye-bye.